Hey, welcome back to Analog Man Podcast. Today's going to be a great one. You're going to stick around for this one because we're going to do a back-to-back feature. Not only are we going to do a back-to-back feature, we're going to do this in style with getting our audio corrected. And I do want to apologize about my previous videos. I think I've finally figured it out. So without going too far into it, we're going to use two videos. One from a person, if you know Angelina Jordan, and if you're one of her fans, you would probably know James Thiel. And then the other one is Steve Ackerman, another person who dedicates a lot of their time to Angelina Jordan and, making it better. So it's not just fan reactions or, just like me, I'm just a reactor, but these individuals spend a lot of time making quality videos on this artist. So it's a true dedication and a passion towards the artist, which I totally respect, and they deserve their recognition for all the hard work that they do. And, it really gives me a place that I can go and get high quality video for this artist, this particular artist. And so today we're going to actually use videos from both of their sites, and I'll leave links below to both of those sites. First, we'll start with James Thiel, and I think it's a 4K version of Man's World, James Brown's famous song. And then we'll move into Steve Ackerman's version, which is a mashup. I think he's got another one where it's just the song, but I believe that James' song is the higher quality 4K. I'm not sure, gentlemen. I don't know all this stuff. You guys can, talk about that in the comment section if I missed anything there. But we're going to listen to both versions and edits of Angelina Jordan's It's a Man's World. Man times 3. A lot of people don't realize that. And we're going to talk a little bit about James Brown.
Let's do this. How are we feeling? All right. It's one of my favorite songs. Haven't done it in a while, so it's for you guys.
Stop the song, but as reactors we have to stop the song. And there's a few reasons for that. Well, one, the old YouTube will knock us out the park, but also sometimes we have some things we have to say and some things we want to discuss, but I'm not going to go too far into it. I'm going to say that this is a perfect song choice for her because of her ability to sing a song slow. And this was a slow ballad from James Brown. So not many people can pull that off the way she's doing this right now. So let's just go back. I'll rewind it just a little bit because this is such a great version from James, and it's so clear on my end in these Bose speakers. So I'm really hoping through the edit it sounds exactly the same. So there you go. That was a beautiful song, beautiful rendition of that James Brown song, as well as a very, very great edit. So, his links are there and you can see it at the end of the video. Just beautiful. So, I just want to talk a little bit about James Brown before we go into the next one. And also before we do that, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, or the like, or drop me a comment. All that stuff really helps my channel grow. We're going to just talk a little bit about this song, a little bit about James Brown as well, too. Now, I believe that this song was influenced by I think it was his girlfriend at the time. But she saw the world, that these men were building, but she was kind of reminding him that, you can't do any of this without, the woman. So it's actually the dependency is the other way around, which, the way the song is titled, there was a lot of people that would say it was a misogynist song. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's anything from that. It's basically just showing all the respect to the woman that, helps prop a man up. And, I can't say enough about how true that is, right? I've got someone special in my life that is absolutely my rock and my foundation. So I get it. I definitely get it. But, James Brown was a very interesting character, right? He was a performer in all senses of the word. And, his upbringing was interesting as well. I think he was actually a boxer when he started out like as a boxer. So you could see why he was so fit on stage. But his style of singing and what he did to music at the time, bringing in kind of the rhythm. The rhythm was the key. And he used to sing, I believe, off the kind of the first note. Yeah, there was quite a few rock artists that were inspired by that. So James Brown had a big impact on rock and roll. I think it was like Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix. Let me think of some others. Prince. Yeah, obviously Prince. David Bowie, even the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who... they also were influenced by one of my favorite musicians of all time, which is Robert Johnson, king of the Delta Blues. Hot tamales in the red hot, right? Hot tamales in the red hot. Yeah, she got them for sale. Yeah, she got them for sale. Yeah. I think they even sang that in one of their CDs, the full song. But all of this is connected in some way. James Brown was one of the most instrumental in influencing people on music all across the board. And so for her to cover this song and this artist, it's bold. It's very bold. But again, the tempo of this song, the slowness of this ballad is just absolutely perfect for her, as well as, you know, she is a throwback. So she's already in this mode, right? So this is like, you know, he probably would have done a duet with her back then. You know, she's at that level. So I really think this is a great song choice. A Man's World is one of the greatest songs I think ever sung. And for me, it's up there. It's really up there of an all-time great. She's just doing a fabulous job of making James Brown proud on this. And she's got nothing to regret after that performance. And I do appreciate the high quality version that I'm able to hear, because that does make all the difference. The other thing about James Brown is like, his showmanship and like how he just moved across stage and how that influenced like Michael Jackson and people in that genre. So he's still influencing people today by virtue of these other artists. And he was a very special person, although very troubled. But we as Americans, we hold James Brown in very high regard when it comes to music. And Angelina Jordan, I'm holding her in high regard for her ability to sing a song like this. Now with all me talking, right? Now we're going to go into a mashup that was put together by Steve Ackerman. And Steve is one of those guys that's been there at my premieres, and he's made, not a request, but more just like suggestions. So that's why I'm doing this. So if you guys don't know, I do have my Stan store where I'll do direct requests, and that goes to the priority. But also if you're in the premiere, when I do my lives, that shows loyalty and appreciation for the channel. So I want to give and take. And also people who are doing things like this, like Steve and James, who are dedicating a lot of their time and effort. And I know how hard it is to edit and get things right, especially the audio. It's so hard. But these guys do a fantastic job, and they're a great resource for when I cover this artist. Yeah, I don't have this type of option with other artists that I cover. There are some dedicated people, but they don't do stuff like this. So you guys are above and beyond. And hopefully she knows who you guys are. I think she probably does. I appreciate it 100%. But let's go into Steve Ackerman's version, Angelina Jordan James. It's a man's world live mashup. It's not easy to say that.
This is a man world, but it wouldn't be nothing. It's about a little baby girl, yeah, baby boy. Man make them happy. Cause man make them toys. And every man make everything he can. You know that man makes money to buy from other men. He's lost
for me is just too easy to listen to twice. Before we go into this, please hit the subscribe button or hit the like button or check my store down below. I would really appreciate it. So that was a cool little mashup. It's interesting because you want to kind of like, while you're hearing her music and her sing it, you're obviously thinking, I heard this song before, but it is nice to hear kind of the difference. Yeah, obviously the voices are different, male and female voice, but she captures the sound and the rhythm and the kind of the intent of the song with her own voice. Whereas, he has more of that, like, deeper raspy voice because he's James Brown. So yeah, it's really cool to see it lined up. I'm not sure which version that was used, but I definitely know that first version that I did, for me, at least on the Bose, it's like very, very high quality version. Not that the other one wasn't, but I think that might be, you guys let me know in the comment section about that. Like I said, I'm not an audio video guy. I really try to figure it out as I go, but both of them sound great to me. And then, just hearing the James Brown portion of that was really cool, because I was going to just like listen to James Brown sing this prior. And I even thought about maybe playing it, but hey, Steve did it for me already, so I don't need to do that. This interesting thing about this James Brown song, but not just the song, James Brown as an artist. I have a in-law who's not an American and doesn't really know American music. He's 80 years old, and so I wanted to have at least one song or one CD available when we were driving in the car. He had a CD player. He had kind of like the old school one that was in the back in the trunk, and I was trying to figure out like what CD should I get that won't drive him crazy, but also won't drive me crazy, because I didn't want to listen to what he was listening to. So I was like, well, he's 80, so, he probably knows who James Brown is, but maybe doesn't listen to James Brown, but, that style of older style music. So I bought one of like James Brown's greatest hits, and I put it inside the CD, and man, he will not take that thing out. He's got one CD, and it's James Brown, and he leaves it inside the car, and it's still in there. And it's cool because every once in a while I'll drive his car, and I'll just, all right, I don't want to listen to the radio. I know James Brown's in there, and I just press play. So that's my way to get my James Brown fix. But I might swap that CD out for Angelina Jordan. Does she have a CD? I haven't even thought about that. She probably does, right? If she has a CD, could you tell me which one would be like something like a greatest hits? I might just swap that out and see what he says. That would be cool. See if you notice. I'm sure he'll notice, but I'll just see. I'm sure he'll love it. But I'm really loving her music, and I'm really appreciating this fan base who is, dedicated to the artist, and, demands me to do better, which I'm trying to do. I mean, I get some comments, I get a little bit of trolling, and, oh, I don't like this, and I don't like this. I don't like your bookshelf, and I don't like... All right, well, every book I've read I haven't liked, that doesn't mean just because I have a book I like it. It's like, you don't know until you read it, right? And that's kind of how I approach life. I don't just determine, you can't judge a book by its cover, so to speak, right? So if you're that type of person, maybe this isn't the type of podcast you'd like to listen to, because you will not pin me down. You'll definitely not pin me down. I'm pretty hard to pin down as far as those types of things that people have been making comment sections about, and it's probably not what you think for the most part. I know that's ambiguous, but I'll just leave it at that. I'm an ambiguous type of person. So anyway, I really enjoyed this one. I did enjoy listening to both versions and the mashup. I believe this is like the first mashup I'm actually going to react to, so this is kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to do a lot of mashups, because I think that's somewhat of a different genre, so to speak, versus a reaction. But reacting to a mashup, maybe. Tell me what you guys think, if you think I should react to more mashups or not. I like listening to them, but I also always like to hear the best quality, real live version of something that I can find. Like, I don't know, I think most people are that way, especially when it comes to rock and roll, like, because there's so much that can happen in a studio, and you're like, okay, then you hear them live and you're just going like, No Effects, a punk band, had the best the best cover name of all time. I heard they suck live. Like, because how many times have you heard that, right? But I think the rock band that people say is the best live is Metallica, but I've never heard Metallica live. So maybe I'll do a Metallica live reaction. I mean, I don't know if people will actually believe that, but it is true. I didn't grow up listening to Metallica. Lately, I've been listening to The Warning, this rock band of girls from Mexico, Monterrey, And these girls are just phenomenal. I mean, like, they're just a throwback when it comes to rock. And their live music is what I listened to first. And I was just blown away at, like, just how talented and how, polished they are for their age, even though they've been, that's the thing. These guys are starting so young, just like Angelina Jordan. She started, before she could even, I don't know, walk. I guess she was already singing. And somehow I think that has wired her brain. Like, you can't duplicate that. Even if you train later in your life, you probably can't do that. I've seen this in so many different things, especially with sports, because I'm heavily involved in sports, and I have a professional athlete as a daughter. And I noticed that the younger you get your child into something, reasonably, then just the farther they go in that particular thing later on in life, if it's still their desire, right? But it's just one of those things that, as your brain is developing, what you put into it is so important. And her grandmother was sharing with her all these classics and all this beautiful music that somebody from her generation would probably not even be exposed to. And that is really awesome. So that's a reminder too. If you have grandparents out there, let your kids spend time with them. They know things and they understand things that we don't know and we've forgotten. And they can expose them to things that maybe, we should still remember. And obviously, Angelina Jordan has absorbed a lot of that. This is what I call high culture. This is something that takes a little bit of understanding and complexity, right? And time and patience to listen to and absorb and appreciate it. And we need more of that in this world. There's so much fast, like, quick little beats and this and that. And all these people are sampling James Brown now, right? They're not even doing any original music. They can't even come up with the tempo and the timing that James Brown came up with, and so it's just like a dilution of the great thing, the thing that was great. So, speaking of great, Angelina Jordan so far has just blown me away. And I've only done, I believe, one of her originals, which I thought, to me, that was just the coolest thing in the world, because I felt like, man, I stepped back in time. Do I know this song? Like, why do I not know this song? It's such a great song. How did I miss it? That was my first take was like, how did I not know this, like, beautiful classic song? Like, I know classic songs. My stepfather was a DJ, so that's why I like know some of this music, because he had all these records. And I'm like, why don't I know this one? And I'm like, oh, it's an original. Holy smokes, man. Like, she's created an original through a time machine. It's just, if you haven't heard that song, you go back to my playlist and go check it out. I'm sure the fans know, all you fans know the song, but I was just surprised by it. I still think that is really great. I want to do some more of her originals. I want to do some more of her originals as she's a little bit older, because I just think that she has all of the tools for the soul and the rhythm, but a lot of those songs are better sung when you're older. So doesn't mean I don't want to check out, just the phenom and the talent that she was when she was younger. But, I think she's able to sing with a little more oomph, as she gets older with some of these songs and these song titles and lyrics. So I appreciate everybody coming back to the podcast. I'm going to be doing more of her music on a regular basis. I'll try to make sure my audio and everything is correct. Not sure what song I'm going to do next. Which song? I've been wanting to do Oslo, mostly for my anthropology curiosity, because, and locations and culture. I've always wanted to visit Oslo. And so I think maybe I'll do that song next. I don't know. Sometimes I change my mind depending on what you guys put in the comment section or who goes up in the premiere. And of course, if you want to make a Stan Store donation, that is definitely the priority. And I always fulfill those requests as soon as I get into the next studio session. And I've had quite a few, and I appreciate everybody that does that. That helps me with the channel, helps me pay for all this gear and this equipment, and, keeps me motivated so that all the time I put in here is higher than minimum wage. It's not yet. It's not even close. I think some people have a misconception about how much every actor makes. It's not like you guys think. Why don't you get into the game and you let me know how long you're going to stick around? If anybody has any problems with somebody wanting to monetize a video. I appreciate everybody who does understand that and keeps coming back to the channel. I appreciate everybody that dedicates their time to these artists or just puts time and effort into something that they love and they're passionate about. And, that alone is worth recognition. So with that, I'll say thank you, James. Thank you, Steve. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Wolfhound, and yeah, it's a man's world, but we already know it's all about our women, right? I'm out.